Investigating claims of sexual abuse involving this New Albany megachurch. The Licking County Sheriff saying the allegations focus on a former leader of Faith Life Church.
Gary and Keesee are the lead pastors at Faith Life Church. A statement we got Monday from an attorney representing the church says Faith Life is aware of the serious allegations of past conduct involving a family member of the church's leaders. That same attorney declined our request for an interview. However, Gary and Drenda have addressed the allegations during church services that took place earlier this month.
I'm sure some of you have heard what's happening going on around here.
This video is from the live stream the church shares on its website, but this portion of the service appears to be edited out of the video that permanently exists on Faith Life's YouTube page.
We stand absolutely against harassment and abuse. Abuse is directly against everything we believe in.
No charges have been filed by the Licking County Sheriff's Office, which is handling the investigation. And according to the attorney for the church, none of the allegations are against any current pastors.
Please know that Drenda and I, or our pastoral team, has not been accused of anything.
Police records we have obtained detail the alleged abuse of one woman while she was a juvenile. The case started in Knox County. According to Attorney General Dave Yost's official Facebook page, the Knox County Sheriff said their department could not investigate the case because the alleged suspect's mother, Gary Keesee, is a county commissioner who votes on the sheriff's budget. So the case was sent to Ohio's Bureau of Criminal Investigation. But according to public records we've obtained, Dave Yost's office sent this letter to Knox County, telling them they too have a conflict of interest and could not investigate the allegations either. On Facebook, Yost states that he is friends with the alleged suspect's parents and they have been guests in his home. As these allegations continue to spread, some brought their questions to the Knox County Commissioner meeting Tuesday. Gary Keesee was at the meeting.
Is transparency still happening inside the commissioner's offices?
Yes, it is.
It is important once again to stress that so far no charges have been filed, but the case did force the Knox County Sheriff's Office and Ohio BCI to recuse themselves from investigating due to conflicts of interest.
The culture there was very much, you have to be a yes man. You do what they say, you don't ask questions.
This former Faith Life staff member asked we hide her identity and voice. She is not a victim of sexual abuse by the former church leader who is currently being investigated, but describes what she called questionable behavior she saw while working at the church.
I saw a male member of the church staff talking not in total seclusion with younger girls, but often like a distant hallway where there's nothing going on in that side of the building. It kind of just was one of those, something on my gut telling me that just it doesn't seem right.
She says on multiple occasions she tried to address her concerns.
I actually felt like I was protecting that staff member by saying, hey, this doesn't look right. Maybe, the optics could come back and bite that person, and it was shut down real fast.
Police records we have detail the alleged abuse of one woman while she was a juvenile. In the last few weeks, this has gained momentum on social media as some of the other alleged victims have used those platforms to share their stories. The former staff member we spoke to Wednesday said she hopes those people feel supported.
I don't care if I know them or not. That's not the issue. None of this should happen in the first place, and they deserve to know that they're supported.
Again, no charges have been filed. The Licking County Sheriff's Office was given this case on Friday, so they are just getting started with their investigation. In an email I received from their office Wednesday, they said they want to assure that this case will be investigated to the fullest.
What do you hope comes from this investigation that's now being handled by this local law enforcement agency?
I want justice for the victims. I want accountability. I want the reckoning to come, and I want them to be held accountable.
These documents reveal one person's allegations of sexual abuse while she was a juvenile.
Here's what we know so far. In December, a police report was filed in Knox County. The incident listed here as rape and sex offense. In a report taken by a Knox County detective in January, the alleged victim says she was assaulted more than 100 times before she turned 15 years old, and much of the alleged abuse happened at a home in Knox County, according to these reports. According to Attorney General Dave Yost's official Facebook page, the Knox County Sheriff said their department could not investigate the case because the alleged suspect's mother, Gary Keesee, is a county commissioner who votes on the sheriff's budget. Drenda and her husband Gary Keesee are the lead pastors here at Faith Life Church. The case was then sent to Ohio's Bureau of Criminal Investigation. But according to public records we've obtained, Dave Yost's office sent this letter back to Knox County, telling them they too have a conflict of interest and could not investigate the allegations either. On Facebook, Yost states he's friends with the alleged suspect's parents and they have been guests in his home. That's how the investigation ended up here in Licking County. On Monday, I tried getting some answers and updates about where the investigation stands from the sheriff's office.
Good. Hey, I'm checking to see if Sheriff Thorpe is in his office today.
I was told the sheriff wasn't in, but the office posted this release on Facebook saying they had assigned detectives to investigate and encourage those with information about the case to contact them. In the last few weeks, all of this has gained momentum on social media as some of the alleged victims have used those platforms to share their stories. We were there on Friday as supporters of some of the alleged victims protested outside the megachurch holding signs that called for justice. We've reached out to the church for a response to the investigation. We did get this message from their attorney, which states that Faith Life is aware of the serious allegations of past conduct involving a family member of the church's leaders. In the statement, they say none of the allegations are against any current pastors. The message also states that they are fully cooperating with law enforcement.
The church's attorney turned down my request for an interview, but we will stay on top of this. Again, no charges have been filed. Right now, we're waiting for more records to be released from the sheriff's office here in Licking County.
Faith Life Church has been in the spotlight since February when allegations of sexual abuse were made against one of the leaders of this church. Now we've learned in 2022, the Attorney General's office got a whistleblower tip about the church's Journey campaign. Now, in the documents we received through a public information request, the Attorney General's office found nothing violated Ohio charitable laws, but said that some of the practices were unusual and concerning. They went on to say the program lacked oversight by independent directors or the congregation, and they made several recommendations to increase transparency. Those included using local certified public accountants instead of the one based in Texas, and to hold at least one public meeting a year to discuss how the church is run and finances, and to also seek clarification from the Evangelical Council for Financial Accountability and amend church bylaws to add 2 more board members to represent the congregation. Now, the church's attorney sent us a statement saying, in part, Faith Life Church appreciates the thorough review conducted by the Attorney General's office and took its recommendations seriously. The church carefully evaluated each recommendation and implemented changes where needed to further strengthen its policies and procedures. Now, we told you back in February that Attorney General Dave Yost recused himself from that case involving sex abuse allegations that were made against one of the former church leaders. The AG posted on his official government Facebook page that the move was made because he's friends with the suspect's parents. And we did ask why the AG's office was able to investigate that 2022 case and not the current one. In a statement, his office says that Yost did not know them until last year, so there was no potential conflict at the time.
The initial reaction was relief.
Eric Venin was a member of Faith Life Church for 4 years and ultimately decided to leave around 2019. As a father who took his kids to this church, he's feeling a range of emotions after hearing that Gary Keesee Jr. was arrested at his home in Johnstown Friday. Keesee charged with 2 counts of rape. Both are felonies. According to court documents, there are a total of 3 alleged victims, all who are under the age of 13. The first reports of abuse happened when Keesee himself was between 12 and 14 years old. Keesee is a former leader at Faith Life Church and the son of lead pastors Gary and Brenda Keesee.
He was presented as a rock star at this church. He was put in a position where he would have access to young ladies, and you see what happens. And unfortunately, unless real transparency and accountability happens, I think this church needs to shut down.
The church's attorney sharing a statement saying, in part, the complaint alleges incidents that occurred approximately 2 decades ago that in no way involved Faith Life Church. The allegations have been investigated by the Licking County Sheriff's Office, and Faith Life Church has cooperated fully with the investigators. The Licking County Sheriff's Office was asked to start investigating in February by the Knox County Sheriff. This was after the Knox County Sheriff's Office and Ohio Attorney General Dave Yost had to recuse themselves from the case due to conflicts of interest. Brenda Keesee is a Knox County commissioner and decides the sheriff's office budget. Yost is personal friends with Brenda and Gary Keesee. It's a case that has some former and current members questioning their faith in this church.
Anger, really. I mean, I think the whole community has a right to be angry that there's a church that we've brought our families to, that we allowed our kids to go to homeschool community to, and come to find out that they weren't safe.
We learned that information after a Knox County grand jury handed down a 27-count indictment against Gary Keesee Jr. Those charges include rape, gross sexual imposition, and unlawful sexual conduct with a minor. Investigators say there are 3 victims. All were members of Faith Life Church, but say there is no evidence the abuse happened at the church. Keesee is the son of the lead pastors. He was a former leader there as well. Licking County is handling this case. The special prosecutor says justice will happen here only because of the victims' courage.
These courageous young women have spoken out and come forward, and they are to be commended for their bravery and supported.
For the first time, supporters of the alleged victims of Tom Keesee are seeing what they have wanted to see for a long time. Keesee in an orange jail jumpsuit in front of a judge.
Just a range of emotions. Quite a difference from the rock star role that he's always played at the church.
That was Nicole Berger's reaction to seeing Tom Keesee in court. The charges against him come after months of investigation and what victims claim was years of abuse. Now Keesee is charged with 11 counts of rape, 11 counts of gross sexual imposition, and 5 counts of sexual conduct with a minor.
It just feels good that justice is finally coming for these victims.
How confident are you that justice will be served here?
Extremely.
Keesee's attorney says justice looks different for his client, who he says is wrongfully accused. Sam Shamansky points out that some of the crimes date back decades and involve juveniles.
It's difficult for everybody involved, right? These cases are fraught with difficulty, for sure.
I'm extremely confident. The statute of limitation is 25 years, and I'm confident.
Everybody feels deceived. I think that there was a love of money more than a love of Jesus, and I feel like they really pushed that agenda, and I think people feel deceived in a lot of ways.
Former church members were on hand. They say they're angry at how these allegations were handled by the church and by Keesee's parents, including his mother, who is a Knox County commissioner.
Drenda and Gary continued to hide this for years and years, and I think that they put Tom in positions of leadership over children. This is not just about Tom, this is about Drenda and Gary Keesee, and I think Drenda should step down from her Knox County commissioner seat. It's unacceptable that she's still in power over this county.
Prosecutors claimed that Keesee is a flight risk, pointing out that his parents have access to a private jet. Prosecutors asked for a $5 million bond. The judge settled on $2 million, so Keesee goes back to the Licking County jail. If he does post bond, he will have to wear a GPS monitor.
Gary Keesee walks into a Knox County courtroom smiling at his attorney.
Is he prepared to serve a life in prison?
What do you mean prepared? How does one prepare for that?
A former pastor of the Faith Life Church in New Albany, where his parents remain the lead pastors, is now accused of raping a 4th victim. This time, the indictment indicates Keesee was in his 20s when he sexually abused a child for 4 years who was younger than 13 years old. The time span for all 32 counts, 2001 to 2012.
Started when he was an adult to a 6-7-year-old child. How, as a mother, can you stand behind your son?
Prosecutors say at least 3 of the victims attended Faith Life Church. Members of the community came out to support them.
You think there are more victims out there?
Absolutely.
But also demand that Knox County Commissioner Drenda Keesee, mother of the suspect, step down from her elected position.
The fact that Drenda is still holding a Knox County commissioner seat is absurd.
Commissioner Keesee has yet to respond to my email asking her about the resignation demands. However, she was only a few feet behind her son watching this latest hearing, where the defense claims they're receiving phone records and other evidence for the July trial on a delay.
What was not addressed is why did it take them 6 weeks to get us that what they already had? I don't care if she had it in February, March, or April. Who cares? You got it, you send it.
Prosecutors tell me there is a second suspect linked to this case, and that second suspect committed their crimes in Fairfield County. I called the Fairfield County Sheriff's Department today to check the status of that investigation, and I am waiting to hear back.